We're in the Sikha of B'chokaisai and Chelik Lamed Zayin, Seif Dalet. The Rebbe is discussing the question B'negeya to Parshas B'chokaisai and B'negeya to the Yehudim Gashmi and Lasad Lavai. What's the point of the Torah being Meirech, Chazal, Gemara in Ksubis, and other places that are so Meirech about the Yehudim Gashmi? Lasad Lavai, all these things will not matter at all. Okay, so let's continue. Seif Dalet. The answer is as follows. So the Rebbe here is highlighting, as you see, the term chayecha. The Torah is our life. What does it mean when it says the Torah is our life? It's not only that Torah brings a person life, causes a person to have life, whether in this world, whether Olam Haba, Torah is the life of every single Yid. So what this means is Torah is not an added feature or some maila a person can come to. You learn Torah, you have the Eibish's Chachma, the Eibish's Ratzon, a certain level. This is the essence of the Yid, and this is his life, literally. Now, if that's the case, by analyzing and understanding what life is, we could understand why we're focusing on the Gashmias Lasadov. The life of a person, the body, is divided into three parts generally. B'chlolus, Rosh, the head, Guf, the rest of the body, and Viregel, and the feet. Harosh, Humakim Mishkan Kachesav Anailim. The head is where the higher kaiches of a person are, haseichel, v'chulu, the person's intellect, and the other senses, to see, to hear, to speak, and so on. V'haguf hukli umishkal amidish abayt v'chayetze b'zeh. The guf, where the heart is a place where the person's emotions are. V'ilu b'raglayim, in the person's feet, yesh nirak koyach hahiluch. It's the koyach for the person to walk. It's the lowest koyach in the person. And it's low in the sense that in the fact that a person can walk, he's no different than an animal that can also walk around. Okay, so in this sense, if you look at the three parts of the person, the highest koyach in the person is the seichel, is the head, and the raglayim is the lowest, and you don't even see b'chlal any maila as a human being. This is all the description of the different aspects of the person. If you look at each koyach separately, what it represents, what aspect of the nefesh is expressed there. Aval, the essence of life, the fact that a person is alive, which is not expressed by and it's not represented by whether seichel, whether midis, whether one thing or another. It's just the essence of life. That's in every part of the body equally. The person, the essence of life, whether it's his head, whether it's his feet, whether it's the toenail, it's all one of the same thing. The Rebbe brings in order 30, the makkah for this in Halacha, which is actually from Yom Kippur. The fact that the essence of life is the same in every aspect of the person's being, regarding this, the essence of life, all people are the same. Just a simple person, the size of a normal human being, and the Gemara says, the shiur on Yom Kippur for someone to eat that he's over on the isser of the inisim nafshei seichem, it's different than eating any other thing which is aser. Usually the shiur is a kazayas. That's the halacha l'Moshe Sinai for anything that's any shiurim of achila, whether for a mitzvah, whether for a isser, it's always a kazayas. But over here, because the isser is not specifically achila, it's v'nisem es nafshei seichem. What brings life to a person when he eats? A kakaisvis, which is the size of a fig, different size. So the Gemara there discusses how could you say the same size for any person? And a person that's a regular person. And the Gemara answers, this shiur of kakaisvis is the shiur that connects the nefesh to the guf. The life of the nefesh to come into the guf is this shiur of kakaisvis. So the explanation is, as the Rebbe is mitzayin to the Maimonim and as the Sikha of Chelik Chavav Barichas about this, when you talk about the kayach, that food gives a person the certain nutrients and vitamins of the food that the brain needs. There's others that is needed that for the heart and for the liver and for all the other limbs of the body. So there you have to eat a proper meal to get the nutrients for every part of your body. But when you talk about the essence of life, which is one essence of life over here, that connection, that essence of that you're alive, that the nefesh should remain in the guf, what's the shiur that touches the soul, that brings it into the guf? That's the shiur of kaisvus. This is the source of Chazal for this concept. Yeah, kaisvus is a fig size, yeah. Yeah, okay. That's a size, yeah. Okay, let's continue inside the sikha, the next column.
As opposed to kis size, which is like an olive.
An olive, right. The Tamadovar, the reason for this is Fishachayis and Nefesh, Himuhusa Shaladam. The life of a person, that is who the person is. You look at a person, what are you looking at? You're looking at the person's body. If you look at a person, you're looking at his nose, you're looking at his forehead, you're looking at a mensch, the nefesh is really who he is. The essence of a person's life is who he is, even just a strand of hair of a person. You pull a person's hair, the person comes, the whole person will come. As far as the essence of the person is concerned, every aspect of him is part of the essence of who the person is. This is also expressed by a story that the Gemara says, the pleasure that a person has, that he feels inside his soul, that when a person hears very good news, as the Gemara describes there, so then it can have an effect even on the physical body, including even the heel. That story there in the Gemara, that when he heard good news, he couldn't put back on his shoe because his foot expanded. Even the etzem, the bone of his physical body, of the heel, expanded. The concept of pleasure is not, it's different than seichel, midis, the other aspects of the nefesh that the Rebbe spoke about before. The fact that a person has intellect or emotions, tainog is something different. Tainog is much deeper. Tainog is the essence of the person himself, what the contentness and the happiness and that he feels inside himself. So therefore, tainig is something that affects the entire person, even down to the heel, when there's a real concept of tainig. Obviously, there's different levels of tainig. Just punkts off Abrengen from exactly 40 years ago. Parshas Nitzav Vayelech Tavshim Mem Dalet. So in the middle of the Sikha, the Rebbe is complaining about the fact that Malaran Chassidus, and you learn ideas and terminologies, and the expression the Rebbe used was Maget Haturach Hazeri Avasser. You read it and you say it, and but you can't really explain what it means. As an example, the Rebbe chose this union of Tainog. It was a statement is that Tainog is Aliyas Adam Batz Musay. The person feels a very deep contentness inside himself, and the way Chassidus describes it, Aliyas Adam Batz Musay. So the Rebbe says, "B'didi of that." I asked the Yid, he came into me, and I asked him. So then, when it says in Shulchan Aruch that on Shabbos there's a mitzvah of Einik Shabbos, did you experience this union of Aliyas Adam Batz Musay? I cooked me on. What's this in of Aliyas Adam Batz Musay? And it's a Yid that knows it. It was a statement Chassidus, and this is what it says when you get to the mitzvah of Tainik Shabbos. And then the Rebbe said also another example, when you make the bracha Beir Nefashos Rabbis v'Chesreinan Kol Masha Barasa, then Lahachis B'Am Nefesh Kol Chai. So it says that l'Shein Nisar Chesreinan is the food that we eat, that we need for basic living, and then Lahachis B'Am Nefesh Kol Chai is peiris and things that give tainug. When you make this bracha, you're thanking the Eibishter for Tainig. Did you experience this Indian of Tainig of Aliyas Adam Batz Musay? What's the Indian? What's the Taich from them? That's what it's an example that Rebbe was saying. The things that it says in Chassidus, that it's not a Pestam terminologies in the P'sneilam Atzilis. It means something real within the person. When you get to Tainig, Chassidus speaks about Tainig being usually, in our experience of life, Tainig is something that stems from something that happens outside of us. But real tainog stems from within, from the nefesh itself. Like the mashal the Chassidus brings is when a person makes a chasana for b'noi yechidai and he has a tremendous level of tainog. What is this? It's a tainog